Hi everyone, welcome to Kanta to the Wall Amsterdam Fashion Week. And joining with us on the other side of the wall is the Shed Bag and Glass Textiles in Cairo, Egypt. I would like to first thank everyone that is in the space here today. Thank you for taking time to be here. Today's topic that we're going to be talking about will be industrializing upcycling. I think many of you who have been in the workshop just now were upcycling in the space. As you can see, it's a bit still of a myth. But upcycling is very difficult to scale because of the uneven sort of feedstock that you get at the beginning of the production process, because you're basically working with secondhand textiles. So our conversation today is what happens when informal knowledge actually meets formal systems. Can upcycling actually scale without losing its soul and values that make it transformative? And what happens when informal creativity meets industrial production? And can that coexist? And how does that look like? So, glass textiles and the shad bag on the other side, they are actually a traditional garment manufacturer. And today they have transformed a part of the factory into a little upcycling lab, as you can see here. So this is a really exciting way of seeing what is that, how would that look like actually. So I would like to introduce the panel. We have here in Amsterdam, we have Oscar Wentz. Would you like to say something about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Oscar. And it's also called Hello. I finished my studies last year at the Design Academy in Eindhoven. And since then, I focused all my making on upcycling and recycling. Since I got a little bit more of a glimpse into the industry and saw all the dark parts. Yeah, I tried to make a positive impact. And yeah, it's the starting point, I guess. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Oscar. And on the other side in Cairo, we have Ahmed Heba. Would you like to introduce yourself and your position in glass textiles as well as the shed bag?
Hello, my name is Ahmed. I'm representing the shared bag, and I would like to have special thanks for Glass Textile for hosting us and making this event happen. I'd also like to extend special thanks and gratitude to New Giza University, who thankfully we have their students here. Round of applause for the students for creating upcycled products today. In support of them, we have a local upcycling brand from Yusuf and Jumana supporting us with all of the upcycling artwork you see around. And last but not least, Kratko Sayad Academy is helping the students finish the product. So this is a big effort from a lot of people today.
All around the world. Super amazing. Thanks, Ahmed. So beginning the panel, we would like to start with a big question. Upcycling has often been celebrated as a grassroots practice rooted in informality, creativity, and resistance, as you can see from the pieces from Cantamanto. But more and more brands and factories ask, can it scale? So this is a question to maybe Ahmed. What do you think? Uh, what do you think about upcycling and the scale of it, and how can you scale it?
Sorry, the voice is not clear. So the question is asking what skills the factory can provide for upcycling brands. Am I right?
It's about upscaling, scaling upcycling.
Upscaling.
I feel like that's a tongue twister. Twister.
Upscaling fashion brands.
Scaling upcycling.
Okay, okay. I know what you're asking. So essentially, factories and upcycling brands, the one thing they have in common is sustainability, I believe, and the common goal to reduce waste. So in terms of scalability, I feel factories can be facilitators of that. where they are able to provide the space, the know-how, the equipment for the upcyclers to produce more, not necessarily control what they produce, but allow them to make better products with higher qualities, and also measure their impact, measure how much waste is being diverted.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting, but I also think that in terms of um, the openness of manufacturers, they might not be as open as glass textiles. Maybe actually, Oscar, do you have something to say about that as an upcycler?
I think that we need regulation. Like governments have to come in and actually, I mean, unfortunately, most companies are focused on money and making money. So it's very hard to change their mindset about that. So basically, we need regulations where they are forced to work with smaller scale companies or brands, upcycling brands, just to like rethink how much they create and how they create. And I mean, I wish that most companies and factories would be like the glass factory and would welcome upcyclers and would help them and facilitate them. But most of the time, it's not like this. And I see a big switch already. Like 5 years ago, I guess you would never get any like old materials from big companies. Now I have friends who get their leather from Hermes, from Louis Vuitton, but usually they never allowed to say that it comes from them because they want to keep it a secret that there is an overproduction and then there is too much. So the big companies they try to hide it as far away as possible, and the small companies, the fast fashion companies, they just do it for margins. So they don't really care about it. They just greenwash in a very small scale, and yeah, I think there unfortunately we need regulations coming from governments to really push that narrative or push that the action that we need.
Yeah, I think it's hand in hand with government, brands, small businesses. Um, yeah, actually, there are people from the government in the in the public right now. I see you, Docha. But thank you for being here. So we go on to the next question. As I said, the feedstock of upcycling is very varied. You get some amazing quality, luxurious leather jackets, but you also get the shitty, thin Shein tops that break in 2 seconds. Um, so when it comes to upcycling, what does success mean? How do we measure what is a good upcycled garment? Is it the volume? Is it the type of stitching? Um, is it the way it is valued? Um, Maybe Ahmed, you could say something about this.
So I think we're at a point right now where we're fortunate that business has a social aspect to it, and there is a lot of social and environmental metrics that businesses can disclose. So that being said, measuring success is all about measuring your impact. That would be your environmental impact, the amount of kilograms you diverted from landfill, whether it be greenhouse gas emissions that you avoided, or social impact, the amount of people that you trained and upskilled with with helping upcyclers thrive. So the more metrics that we could measure that is related to the environmental and social aspect that we are all collectively moving towards would be a sign of success. And yeah, I think that's a good measure for that.
I agree totally, and I think also what would help a lot is like creating systems or creating uh, yeah pieces that involve all the different materials and not focus okay we only work with the high quality materials and try to make something nice out of it. We have to implement all of the materials because otherwise still the fast fashion is going to end up in the landfill and we're going to try to rework everything nice, but I guess that doesn't work like this because the most trash we create comes from the low quality end, I guess. So I guess we have to find a way to use all the materials in a good way and make sense of it.
Yeah, I think there's something that Oscar was saying about systems and possible framework. In terms of the production facility, like glass textiles, for example, it's a traditional garment manufacturing facility, and there are standardized processes that comes with uh, traditional fashion production. Do you think that would work for upcycling, or to what extent do you think standardization would help in the adoption of upcycling textiles?
Um, you're again double checking the question. Are you asking if upcycling can exist within a traditional factory, right?
Yeah, in a
Okay.
traditional production.
Okay. So yeah, sorry. Okay, perfect. So I think personally, this the only way this can happen if it does not interfere with the production lines. And I think it's not realistic for us to neglect the amazing work and know-how and skill that goes into production line. So if we are able to establish a lean manufacturing point of view, a micro factory that has its own space, similar to what you see behind me, like this, separate from the production line, completely on its own. This can help upcycling exist within it. An added layer would be the community aspect. So there's a lot of maker spaces popping up. There's a lot of fab labs popping up. This is for a reason. That means that these spaces are able to collaborate with the community to allow upcyclers and brands and creatives and designers to use the space in different ways and create products within a production facility. That would mean having access to certain machinery and know-how and skill for maybe a fee or a service fee or subscription. It has to also kind of make financial sense in a way. Finally, a good a very very good thing that we should consider is that the waste that comes out of the factories, including the accessories, the fabrics, the scraps, if designers are able to utilize it in an efficient way, that means the factory will then benefit of having this type of upcycling exist within it, because that means the designers are making it into a product and reselling it, and the factory again is benefiting with measuring their impact.
I think the concept of a micro factory is very much of an innovative idea that's really exciting to see it firsthand happening on screen, actually. Oscar, would you like to participate in something like that? Do you see that happening here in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands?
Yes. I mean, I would love to see it also in factories, but also I think companies could start collaborating with schools more. I mean, I don't know how it is in Amsterdam, but for example, in Eindhoven, the Design Academy, we didn't really have access to the materials directly, and the school also didn't really facilitate anything. So we had to, as students, had to go out and try to find them ourselves, try to find corporations and stuff like this. So I think if there's already a system in place that helps students and like or gets the cut-offs, all the like overproduction to be utilized and like to make new concepts, both sides will have a positive like has a positive outcome because over the companies get new concepts from the designers or the students, and the students get materials to work with. So I think it would work very well, and I can only speak now from the standpoint of the schools that I know so far. I know also there's schools who get a lot of materials, but then again, it's mostly dead stock materials or newly produced materials. And if we can have a switch and focus on upcycling and trying to make that aspect of it's still a little bit playful and dirty and it's not as clean as if I make something new, then I think the real change starts when we have in our head that it's nothing, yeah, just for fun. It's more like a serious way of making as well.
Yeah, I think there's something very fun about upcycling. I don't know if you've seen the pieces at the back yet, and also I assume the pieces that are being made in the space in Cairo, actually. it's very colorful, and there's a lot of textures, and there's a lot of patterns, and there's a lot of creativity that comes from the limitation of the feedstock. And when we talk about creativity, is that something in terms of benefiting between traditional production facilities and benefiting the upcycling community? What sort of knowledge and skills do you think um, are valuable for each side in terms of the collaboration?
Can you repeat the question? We're having some trouble hearing you. I'm sorry.
Is it just me, or is it also Oscar?
Do you hear
Oscar,
me good? Do you hear me well, or do you hear both of us not that good? Okay, I guess you guys hear both of us.
I think no, we hear you well. We hear you well. It's just there's an echo. There's a very big echo. So sometimes just repeat the question again, one last time.
Okay. So what sort of knowledge and skills do you think traditional production facility and this micro factory that you've proposed, like what are the knowledge and skills that can be exchanged or shared that will be valuable for each side?
Between informal and
Between the formal production facility and the informal upcycling community. But
I hear you. I think essentially factories can help in many different ways. First of all, it would be sorting. If we have a space that is able to sort into different fabric qualities, different colors, that would really benefit the process of upcycling. If another layer would be refurbishing or maybe cutting the seams apart, repairing or making different patterns exist from what you already sorted. And then finally, we could also have washing and dyeing, where you can change the properties of the fabric. You can add a lot of different things to it. Actually, this is not funny. There's more things a factory can provide. That would be pattern making, CAD CAM, quality inspection. So there's so much know-how that exists within a production facility, and bridging this with informal communities can really put the upcycling product into a different game, to a different category, for people to actually demand it and want to use it more.
okay.
Yeah, I think that would just create a way, like a new and bigger market for upcycled pieces. Because first of all, like most people who don't buy upcycled pieces are like, it's not clean enough. It's not made from one clear um, material, and so on and so on. So like I think usually it's a question of aesthetically. Sometimes it's like too much going on at once. For some people, look for more simplicity. So if you have already sorted materials and you have access to, okay, I can only work with this, or I can only work with that, or I mix and match, that would make it indeed very, like, way easier. But also the products that come out would be, I think, more interesting for a bigger variety of people. Yeah.
So yeah, the standardization of certain patterns or certain stylistic features as well could be also interesting in terms of industrializing upcycling. So on the flip side, what do you think is lost in the process when upcycling and production spaces come together? Like the concept of industrializing upcycling sounds like it will lose a lot of this sort of rawness that comes from upcycling. Do you think that is a bad thing, or do you think that's a good thing?
The concept of industrializing upcycling, is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah.
I think it is a good thing because right now upcycling exists far away from the production lines and factories, and designers are not able to benefit from these services. So if it is industrialized, that's a good sign. That means there is more consumer demand, there's better products being pushed out there. It's a new design philosophy, a new design concept that is growing, and factories are able to service the designers to create more of these products. Of course, like anything in the world, there will be downsides, but overall, I think it will be a good thing. It will be a good sign if this is successful.
Yeah, and I think also because in this case, we can't just call industrialization and we take a concept and make it into like a production line. We also have to make sure that the bigger productions learn from the communities of upcycling and the other way around. So it's like a goes hand in hand. And I think if the part like where we go industrializing and but the communities of upcyclers work together hand in hand with the companies, I think then industrializing upcycling would really work. But if we just take upcycling and take it basically away from the communities who do it and like who started it, and then just put it into a factory and make it and on a big scale, then I guess yes, then we're gonna lose a bit of the identity of what upcycling is and where it's coming from. But I think if we want to industrialize it, yeah, then both sides need to listen to each other and need to work on the concept together.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, of course, a hand in hand thing. It's about collaboration and working together. Um, I'm gonna go on to the final question, and then I'll have some questions that people can ask either from the side of Cairo or the people here. How do we avoid extraction? So that's what you're talking about, giving back to the community. Informal communities at Cantamanto, they hold incredible knowledge about resale, repair, and material improvisation. How can formal industry, like for example, glass textiles in Cairo, how can they work with communities like Cantamanto or informal upcyclers like you and all the other communities here? How can that work without extracting knowledge?
Very good question. So, first of all, it would be acknowledging what they are able to provide, and if there's a certain design concept or anything that this community put forward, first you have to acknowledge that and make that very clear that they are responsible for this this new design concept. Another thing, following up, would be pathways to ownership. If we are able to give them pathways to be entrepreneurs, create their own product, and then venture out, do their thing, and then grow on their own, this is in a way facilitating and helping them. And the space can be a space to teach skills as well. So upcycling requires a lot of skills, a lot of labor, and if we are going to industrialize it, that means we need to pay adequately and make sure that everyone is getting paid for what they are providing forward for this thing to thrive instead of extracting and exploiting.
Yeah, I can just uh, Well, I can add maybe that I think that we as the global north, we kind of have to be less ignorant and like acknowledge that they have a concept or that they work in a way that works as well, and that we can also learn from them and not be like, hey, we're the bigger one, they should learn from us. I think it's very important that there's open mind and that there's an exchange of concepts, an exchange of ideas, and exchange of making processes, and if both sides are able and willing to learn from each other, I think then, yeah, there could be a bright future.
Yeah, I think we're actually ending off on a really good note because it's a beautiful thing to say about acknowledging communities on the front line of textile waste, because we have to acknowledge the skills and techniques that they have developed over decades, and we're not always right. We're not always right. I'm opening the floor for questions. Do anyone in Amsterdam or Cairo have any questions? Let me just, oh, one question.
My question was related to kind of what you were saying about how people are put off by upcycling, maybe because of how raw it looks. It sounds like a social and kind of more aesthetic thing. How do you think that can be tackled?
Ahmed, you said the question.
Uh, could you help me? Could you repeat it? Sorry.
Okay.
If upcycling is not seen as a clean and clear product, how can we change that aspect, and how can we change that narrative from like the customers who usually like want to buy new?
Oh, like buy consumers to
Yeah,
start buying this.
exactly.
So this is a very very good question because without this, essentially nothing will change. The more consumer demand we are able to build up, the more we are able to change the system. I think it starts from different, just people and brands taking the brave step to advocate for this more and making better quality products. I believe is a big point of that. So there's a lot of barriers in the supply chain of upcycling. So the more we are able to create more attractive products that appeal to the consumer demand, market it, it's all the same games and the same things we do, but the people who advocate for upcycling, advocate for sustainability, the more they keep doing what they are doing, by time, consumer demand will follow. So I think it's just a matter of time. But the more we are able to improve our supply chain and improve our products, the faster we will reach this point.
Yeah, it's all about community building and having workshops like this where people can go home now and they have something to take away with to be show off proudly, but also like the connection to the piece is way bigger because it's done by themselves. So it's a and then if that's being show off to the next person and the next person gets interested in it, yeah, I think it's just by sharing as much as possible, and yeah, creating a community around it and pushing out as much. And then obviously this simple step would be getting fucking cool influencers and putting just upcycled stuff on them, like making it cool in the social construct that we built. So yeah, I guess, but I guess what Ahmed said is very right that we just need to continue doing what we're doing and trying to involve as many people as we know around us, inspire them, inspire each other, and yeah, I think workshops like this is a good starting point. And if you scale this up and you do a workshop over 2 days or 3 days, we also make more like yeah refined pieces, more clean pieces. It's yeah, then a lot is gonna change.
Yeah, maybe I want to add something to this. I think upcycling and culture are quite intertwined actually. Not just in terms of the pieces being worn, like upcycling in Ghana is very much connected to the music and the Afro music scene there. And the pieces are very much part of the aesthetic of what they wear. And it's an aesthetic that they own. And seeing musicians and cultural figures wear pieces like this can influence and make it trendy in some ways. On the side of culture as well, upcycling is not a new thing. It's been practiced by I think my grandmas from Singapore when they came from, and my great grandma from China, if she needed something to be made, that she had to be made into something else, that's upcycling. I think most of your grandmas or great grandmas probably used to upcycle as well. Um, so it's not a new concept. It's very ingrained in our culture. It's birthed from frugality and from the respect of materials. It's just that we lost it. Yeah. So I think that is a good ending point to this panel discussion. Thank you, Ahmed. Oh, Ahmed. Hi. Is there
So,
a question from the students on the other side?
does anyone have questions for the people in Amsterdam by any chance? Hello, Masala? لا? No? Everyone here is
good.
he wants to see the best design from you have. Like he's one of our designers. He's like, show us your an upcycle design.
Best.
Oscar, do you have anything?
I'm wearing pants right now that are
Yeah,
upcycled.
he's asking for your designs. Look. Yeah, the one he's wearing. So he just wants to see one of Oscar's designs.
Yeah, Oscar's coming. Oscar's coming. Give me 2 seconds.
Thank you.
But maybe you can say hi to the people in Amsterdam.
Perfect. Hello. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Hi, everyone. Wow. Hey. Hello. Amazing. Whoa. Yeah, this is the jacket. Jumana, look. Nice. We want to take a fit pic. We want to just take a video.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. Let's show you. Let's show you something. The students made this today. Awi. Whoa.
Very nice.
Perfect. So this is all for us. This was our questions. Just show us some of the. Oh, this is amazing, Oscar. It looks amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Bye. Yeah.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
everyone,
Bye.
okay, bye.
Bye. Bye, Annabelle. Bye. خلاص بقى راح فين لسه في فرصة مش شايفيننا خلي بالك another design oh yes Oscar, check this one out. This was made from pants, right? This is a corset. It's a corset. Hey! This from a pair of pants. She made a skirt. This was made today. Round of applause. Who else? Anyone else? Possible best. Whoa! This was also made from a pair of pants. They all received patterns that's like 2 fronts and 2 backs, and she made a whole dress. She's amazing. Round of applause again. And then we have, what is this? Oh, this was made out of zippers. Wow. Oh, this is amazing. You guys see, this is the whole dress here. Amazing. حلو قوي بجد creative جدا قوي creative جدا اكتر من البست اللي عملتها. Okay, Islam, now we have another design to show you. The student also received a pair of pants and he upcycled all of this. Pull it up. Amazing. Perfect. And then another one. Whoa. Amazing. Thank you so much. And who else? This is, whoa. Let's get closer to the, you guys see it? This is like a top, also made from the pants. So this was all upcycled today during the workshop. And like a huge round of applause for all the students. Oh, the honey as well. We have one more. Honey, okay, she wants to show you this, made of buttons. So you see, those are all buttons. Henna. Yeah, those are all buttons that were leftover accessories. Amazing. All right. Perfect.
Amazing,
So
amazing. Thank you so much. Like most of
you.
the people from our workshop left already, but the ones that are here don't want to share anything.
Yes.
I
It's
see
not
you
done
guys.
yet fully.
Thank you all.
But thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys can get a wine or a drink and feel free to look at the pop-up